Good morning, everybody. Such a joy to be here with you all, as always. Just hearing Z sort of run down of the different communities and groups and individuals involved with this. You know, I say this all the time, but it is really true to my language, how I think about my life. What a gift. Strange years and months and days recently, certainly for all of us in so many ways, I think. But look how many different ways we come together to support each other and care for each other, and to support and care for ourselves. And that's really what the name of the game is here, starting off our Wellness Wednesday with this sort of an experience, a mobility and a meditation experience. I was thinking last night as I was sort of getting my mind ready for the class, and what I've been thinking about recently is just a little story I heard from one of the great spiritual role models in my life, a guy named Thomas Merton. I draw a lot from the many different beautiful spiritual traditions in our world. I studied those traditions and have practiced different techniques from them. But one guy that's important to me is he was a Catholic monk named Thomas Merton. And he was asked once, Father Louis, you would have been called, how do I get better at praying or at meditation or at some sort of contemplative experience? They were looking for sort of a trick. What's the secret to be really good at meditation or mobility or something? And his simple response was, take the time. There's no real great secret to what we're doing here. Taking the time, as you're doing already by gathering here together, is really what it's all about. So with these meditation techniques, the breathing we do, I do sort of a meditation on a poem or a word or a mantra meditation. We're going to do another one of those daily reviews today. There's not often a great revelation that will strike you or some bolt of lightning that makes everything perfect. But when you take the time to do them daily, weekly, as often as you can within reason and good health, then those start to really pay off. So that's what we're doing today. We're taking the time to be kind to ourselves, to our bodies, to our hearts, to our minds. If I were in a room with you, I'm a former high school teacher, or I taught high school for 5 years. If I were in the room with you, by this point, I would be sort of drilling you on what my 5 sort of keys are to doing these workouts, but it's tough to tell who's in the room, obviously. So I'll just give you a reminder on those. The first 2 big ones: gentleness and adaptability. We want to be gentle to our body pretty much all the time. All the time for me. There are times to push ourselves. I like lifting big weights. I was a rugby player. There are times to push ourselves, but your body lets you know when to do that. Always treating our body gently. When it's ready to be pushed a little bit, that's when we jump in. And we sort of actualize that by being adaptable. So with our movements, if a movement isn't working or feeling particularly well, I will offer you other formats, or feel free to take a little break, do some breathing meditation, do something you like. You should hopefully be learning techniques and strategies and movements that feel good to you to use throughout the week. The best thing for a teacher is to see a student who's able to do the things you do in class sort of on their own. So that's the hope. With that in mind, 3 things I like you to keep in mind as we're going through: mindfulness, a full body awareness of what's going on in all these movements. If we're doing something with the shoulder, an overhead press or something, we're obviously going to start with mindfulness on that particular muscle, but then getting a sense of what's going on throughout the rest of our body is really good. And as we're doing all of that, breathing deeply into our stomach, allowing our stomach to expand on the in-breath, and those big, beautiful smiles on our face throughout. This should be fun. I will keep saying that as sort of an exercise coach here. This should feel good. It should feel energizing. It should feel fun. So many people have a sense of working out that it's difficult and hurts and is painful. But really, we want to start off with a place of joy and fun in what we're doing. And so we have our basic sort of setup here. Going to do a little warm up. Going to do a few sets of seated exercises with the Tabata method that I love so much. 20 seconds of work, or 40 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. Then we're going to do some standing movements, similar setup, and we'll close with a meditation contemplative experience today. One we did back in January, I believe, where we look at sort of a review of our day. I'll explain all that as we go along. You give me your best energy and I'll give you my best sort of coaching and guidance as we go through. We're going to start off with warming up. A little different way to warm up today. We're going to do something called isometric holds. So very often we think of movements an exercise, as we have like a bench press or we have an overhead press, and you move from one end of the motion to the other. To get warmed up, we're going to do isometric holds, which is where we hold a muscle or a limb or something in one place that is not where it's normally at rest. And we're just going to hold it there, and that's going to start to get us warmed up. So to move through the body, you don't need to turn to the side, but we're going to start off with a calf raise isometric hold. So we're sitting upright and alert, good deep breath, smile. We're just going to squeeze in our calves. Okay, so we're just coming up on our toes and squeezing through our calves, getting a good calf raise. We don't want to squeeze too tightly yet, but just a gentle awareness that your muscles are working. Sometimes if you've had a Charlie horse in your life, if you're a little dehydrated and you squeeze a muscle too hard, we don't want that to happen, obviously. So just a gentle squeeze, getting warmed up, listening to your body, holding this for a few seconds, just going to get the body warmed up. Okay, return back to your front so you can see me. We're going to move up through the body. Going to start to warm the calves and the hamstrings up. We're going to do just an isometric hold with a leg extension. So it's just pointing our toe up towards the ceiling. I'll turn to the side in a moment so you could get a side glimpse. But we're setting upright and alert, core engaged, and we're just squeezing our leg. If all you got right now is sort of a half extension, that's fine. Again, this is where we listen to our body. What's your body capable of doing right now? What does your body need right now? So just getting a leg extension with our right leg, holding that for a few more seconds, and then down to the ground. Just to show you this from the side, we'll move to the left leg, extending out, toe trying to point up towards the sky, good posture, sitting upright and alert, good breathing, good smile. But again, if all you could get to is there right now, that's where your body could get, and we're warming up. But trying to point your toe to the sky if possible. Excellent. Good. Facing back to the front. For me, you guys are staying where you are. We're going to put our two fists. So I have my two fists together. We're going to sort of scoot to the front of our chair, put my fists in between my legs, and I'm just going to squeeze those gently at first. And then you could add a little bit more pressure to get what's called the internal rotation of your hip warming up. The way our hips move and our legs move inward is what we're warming up here. Gentle squeeze, mindfulness throughout, good steady breathing, listening to your body. Good, rest on that. Now we're going to put our hands out to the side and we're just going to use our body to push against itself. There was a great bodybuilder through the 20s and 30s and 40s, Charles Atlas, I believe. This is just popping in my head, but he used to do all of his exercises with his body. He would just push against his own muscles, and that's how he got a great physique. So it's one school of exercise science. You can use your body for all you need. So we're going to put our hands out on the outside of our legs and we're going to push against our hands. So again, don't fight too hard. This is just to get warmed up. Push a little bit more with your hands, push a little bit more with your legs out. Hands pushing in, legs pushing out. As you generate more and more tension, your whole body should start to feel a little bit more tension. I feel this through my toes and up through my chest as well. We'll take a break on that. We'll move to the upper body. Okay, so this time we're just going to get a good, really good, solid upright posture. Engage the core, shoulders back. I just want you to put your hands out to the side, palms open. In yoga, this would just sort of be a sun praise, maybe, if you're familiar with that. But we're just holding a good posture here, chest out, back tight, shoulders down, palms facing out away from you. And we're just going to hold this position and breathe. You should be breathing gently, a gentle warm up here. Just waking your body up. Good. Shake that out. we're going to go up into an isometric side raise. So again, palms facing out away from you. Just raise them up to the side. I'm going to scoot forward just a little bit for me, but just raise them up to the side. Good body tension across the back, chest out, core engaged, squeezing the shoulders, nice and strong. Feel full body tension. Grip the ground with your feet. Engage the stomach, engage the glutes, and breathing steadily throughout. Good, and then let that go. And one more, we're gonna reach up in the air. Same thing, reaching up, palms facing out, just holding this position. Comfortably, strongly, you should feel good total body tension, a healthy amount, but breathing gently. Good, and then shake that out. We're gonna move through those isometric holds once more. These are great ways of working out at home. There are movements that our bodies are just sort of not used to doing. If we sit all day, then particular kinds of movements feel difficult and weak. I've had great coaches, sort of Carl amongst them, Coach Carl amongst them, who I'm a big, strong guy. I could squat and deadlift and stuff like that. But when they have me do a particular isometric hold, kicks my butt. So these are great ways to warm up and to develop full body strength. So warming up, we're gonna add a little more intensity to this, squeeze a little bit more, increase the range of your mindfulness. So be more aware of what's going on through the whole body as we move through these, starting with calf raises, just coming up onto our toes, good squeeze in the calf. And so hold that. We'll go about 10 seconds on each of these movements. Good, moving to left leg extension this time, kicking out with our left leg, toe pointing up to the sky, getting as far as you can on the extension, holding nice and strong. You should feel a good squeeze in your quad, and that also might be accompanied by a stretch in the hamstring, stretch in the calf. Good posture, good breathing throughout, everybody. Let's switch to the right leg. Good, switch that up. Fists coming together sort of in the middle, come in between our legs, pushing in gently at first. But now we're hopefully, if you're starting to feel a little bit of a sweat glistening on you or your breath is picking up, now is when we listen to our body and say, okay, now you're ready for just a little bit more. And if you're ready, then I'm ready. And when our body tells us it's ready, then we're okay to proceed safely forward. So if you're ready to squeeze a little bit more tightly, then see how that feels while maintaining good body tension throughout and healthy breathing. Good, switching to the outside, working against ourselves, pushing in with the chest and arms, pushing out with the legs. This is the kind of stuff you see gymnasts and martial artists being very good at, controlling their body tension. And it's something we could work on too. We're gonna move to more of the upper body. So good posture, reminding ourselves of that good posture, feet flat on the floor, chest out, upright and alert. Just a good open chested posture, palms facing out, turning our thumbs and our shoulders out, and just holding here with a good breath for about 10 seconds. Good, guys, shake that one out. Always getting loose in between, moving things around, taking a breath, having a big smile. We're gonna go up into an isometric lateral raise. Good body position. Feet flat on the floor, good posture. Squeezing through the shoulders, through the triceps, generating that full body tension. Good, shake that out. One more movement, guys. This is our warm up, listening to our body, reaching up overhead, palms facing out, and just holding that position nice and healthily. So again, guys, the sort of advanced mental technique is as you feel comfortable and strong in this, your shoulders feel good, arms feel good. How do your feet feel? How are your feet making contact with the ground? How do your knees feel in relationship to your calves and your quads and your hamstrings? Being able to attend to all of that is sort of the advanced technique. But we could shake that out. Our body should feel a little bit more awake. We've got all the muscles sort of engaged. Our mind is ready to listen to our body and to pay attention to what's happening. And we're going to move into something with a little bit more intensity, our seated Tabata exercises. So we're going to have 5 exercises, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Great little model for you to use throughout your life. And just as a reminder, we're always hoping you guys are drinking your water out there. And our exercises are going to be pull downs. So we're going to imagine pulling a weight down. Okay, that's our first exercise. We're going to lean back and get flutter kicks. And I'll talk you through all of these as we go, but this is just a little introduction. Last time I got some good feedback on that dragon dancing we were doing. So I'm going to incorporate that again in this exercise to sort of drive that point home. I've been loving it in my own exercise. It's sort of creative and playful. We flow around our body with our hands in a prayer position. And again, I'll sort of talk you through that as we go. That's the third exercise. We're going to do alternating rows. Okay, so these are upright horizontal rows. And then we're going to do toe taps. We'll sit on the floor, feet flat on the floor, tapping out to a position in front of us for 40 seconds. Okay, alternating legs on that one. Those are our 5 exercises. I got your time. We're going to start off, as always, I know I mention this all the time. I hate to repeat myself as a teacher, but I know there are new people. If you're looking for a little weight at home, little bottles of water, as long as they're the same size, great way to sort of add a weight and add some intensity to your workout this morning. But we're going to start in on our exercises. We're starting off with pull downs, guys. So we're going to reach up to the air first, and then we're going to pull down and imagine pulling a weight down. If you've been in a gym before and you've done what are called pull downs, we're going to imagine our body really pulling that weight down. There's no weight we're working with. So adding a little bit of that isometric tension at the bottom is what will make this workout feel a little bit more intense. So we'll start into that in 3, 2, 1. So really visualize that you're pulling a weight down. You guys keep working, but you should feel that in your lats. These are called your lats on the side of sort of around to your back, and your upper back muscles as well. That's where you should be feeling this. We're going to work for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. That was 40 seconds to work. We get 20 seconds to rest. I explain the next exercise is going to be flutter kicks. We're going to lean back and gentle, steady rhythmic motion, flutter kicking our legs out. I'll turn to the side so you can see a little bit of that. And we'll start in on this exercise in 3, 2, 1. So leaning back, core engaged. I'm not touching the back of my chair if possible, but if you need to lean on that a little bit, that's fine for me today. The big part is my knees are basically in line, and I'm getting a nice flutter kick going. Gentle motion, core engaged, a little bit more of a cardio intensity on this exercise than a muscular intensity. I just have trouble even keeping my breath talking to you guys throughout this. And that's why it'll be good to take a break in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. Now we're going to do that dragon dance. Good posture in our chair, feet flat on the floor, sitting towards the front of the chair. Hands are going to come into prayer position. It's like a dance. It's creative. It's playful. If you have your two arms together and you're moving around your body, that's basically all that we're looking for. Have fun with it for 40 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. So start in tight. Try to keep your posture locked in so all the movement is coming from my shoulders and my elbows. But then as you feel more warmed up and comfortable, bring it out wider. Bring it out to the side of your body, reach up top, bring it down low. So this sort of random, fun, creative movement is what's going to get our shoulders nice and happy. But we'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. I love that move. It looks like we're doing some fun stuff. It looks like a 70s sort of dance move maybe or something. I love doing that with y'all. Our next movement is going to be alternating rows. So this is great for that little bottle of water if you have it, or if you have a 2-pound weight or something. Feel free to use that on this exercise. Sitting upright and alert. Arms are going to start out front. We're going to alternate the row. Okay, so right arm, back to front, left arm, back to front, right arm, left arm. Again, there's no exact weight we're pulling on this. So if you've been with us for a while and these sorts of movements are starting to feel maybe a little bit easier, adding in that isometric awareness, being able to squeeze your left back as you're pulling and imagine that you're pulling a weight will be a good way to work out at home. We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Our mind is very powerful. If we could imagine a 1,000-pound weight that we're pulling and really sort of deeply believe that, our muscles can activate to be able to pull a weight that big, even if it's not in front of us, so to speak. So that mind-muscle connection is very important. Last move for this first set, it's flying by. We're just going to do toe taps, sitting upright and alert, just reaching out in front, back a little bit further, reaching out in front, just tapping with the toe. Okay, so starting on that in 3, 2, 1. Returning to a good heels flat on the floor position, and then tapping out, and I'm just touching with the toe. Okay, so it's just a gentle little touch with the toe, but when I return, my heels are flat on the floor. Excellent, guys. A few more seconds on this. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. That's our first set of Tabata. My sweat's starting to flow. My breath is feeling good. That's when I know to push myself a little bit more, to squeeze those muscles a little bit more tightly when I'm imagining lifting a weight. And also always a good time to take a breath and a little drink of water. Okay, guys, so we'll breathe for a few more seconds and we'll move into a second set of that seated Tabata. You know the movements. If you're one of our advanced practitioners here of how Carl and I sort of run things, hopefully that now on this set, you know what your body needs and how intense it could be, and you could really push yourself on these movements in ways that feel good for you. So listening to our body, adding intensity as we're ready. We're going to start off with pull downs, feet flat on the floor, good posture, big smile, good breath, arms up in the air, starting in 3, 2, 1, pulling down. Excellent, guys. Great work. Big breaths and body awareness, big smiles. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Next movement is going to be our flutter kick. I'll kick out to the side here so you can get just a little bit of a different angle. There we go. So I'm using the back as back of my chair as I need it. I'm not trying to lean on it, but I do lean a little bit back. And so we'll kick back into this in 3, 2, 1. Nice flutter kick. Even more than in the legs, I feel this one in my core. Just that little lean back and bracing everything and trying to keep good posture. That's where the work on this set is for me. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. Next up, we got that dragon dance. I'm loving this. I hope you are. Have some fun with it. Feel what your body needs. And as you're getting more and warmed up, you can pull in the rest of your body. So start in tight, get the shoulder, the deep muscles in the shoulder and chest warmed up, and then we'll start reaching out to the farther extremities to really incorporate our whole body. But we'll start in on that. Good prayer position in 3, 2, 1. So starting in tight, getting the shoulder joints warmed up, elbows warmed up, and then start to let that dragon lead you through a bigger dance. Going up high, out to the side, getting a little bit more of the hips and legs involved. Have fun with it, guys. And we'll take a pause in 3, 2, 1. Good, excellent work. We've got alternating rows. Good time for a little bottle of water if you got it, or a bag of rice or something to add for a little weight. I'm gonna add mine. If you wanna lean over gently and that feels good in the back and in your core, it doesn't feel like it's making anything cranky, a little gentle lean will also add something to our horizontal rows. So we'll start in on that in 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a pause on that. A little bit of rest, and we got toe taps. So the idea here more is something called just sort of proprioception, guys. Body awareness, being able to know that I could reach out to the right, I could reach out in front of me, I could reach out in different directions, and even if my eyes were closed, I would know what that sort of feels like. That's proprioception, body awareness. So if you want to add a little difficulty to this and sort of close your eyes, that's good. And then add a little randomness to this. So when you reach out with your right leg, maybe reach out in front, maybe reach out to sort of across your body more, reach out to the side. So have a little random fun with this like we do with that dragon dance for about 40 seconds, alternating legs. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna reach out there, reach out to the side, out front, back out to the side, out to the side. Just sort of have a little fun with it, a little bit like a dance, getting our bodies moving in different directions, adding a little randomness to our movement patterns. It's good to have a very structured program very often. How many reps are you going to do? How many sets? Stuff like that. But sometimes random playful movements is very good as well. So just keeping a good posture and good breath. Reaching around with our legs, tap into different areas. If that area is tight for you, if it's just in a little box, that's fine. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. So when I encourage you to be sort of more playful and creative with these moves, see how they feel. Listen to your body. That's a good space for you to learn that skill and to learn to be able to listen to what your body is telling you. Those are our 2 sets of seated tabata. We'll take a little breather here. And then we're going to do 2 sets of standing. And so I'll start to introduce those movements to you. I'm going to just adjust my camera slightly so we keep Maybe get a little more feet. Good. Okay. So with our standing guys, we're going to do also 5 exercises. We're going to march with an alternating punch. Okay. So we march a lot and we've done overhead before. We're going to bring this to horizontal. So march with a punch. That's our first exercise. Then we're going to do a side hip raise. So we'll use the chair for balance through all of these as you need it. If you're able to step away from the chair, that's sort of the idea of growth and gaining a little self-sufficiency. But we're going to do side hip raises. So on the first set, we'll do our left legs. On the second set, we'll do our right legs. Again, I'll show you some different body positions when we get to those. Don't want to over-explain right now. Then we're going to do that dragon dance. So if you're feeling like just standing with your sort of feet flat on the ground is all you could get and do it, that's great. But as you're feeling comfortable, if we could get down into a deeper squat and do that dragon dance, that's where we'll get to hopefully by the second set of this or wherever you're comfortable. We're going to do calf raises. So we'll just stand up on our calves using the chair as we need. I'll add some variable options there for how you could do that exercise. And then we'll do our balance work. So just holding one leg up in the air off the ground for that 40 seconds. First set, we'll do left leg. Second set, we'll do right leg. That's our standing exercises. We got 2 sets of that, so best to jump right into them. We're going to start off with a march and punch. Good posture, starting in 3, 2, 1. So opposite leg, opposite hand. Punching out with the march. Make the pace comfortable. Start slowly until the movement feels natural and fluid and everything in your body is saying, okay, I feel pretty good with this. I could pick up the speed a little bit. I could pick up the intensity a little bit. As your body tells you that and you're willing to go along with it, follow right ahead. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. Next up is our side hip raise. So using the chair as you need it. It could be a little off the side, right behind if you need 2 hands. I'll sort of do a middle position so you can see me. And we're just gonna do a side hip raise. Good squeeze. You will compensate by leaning a little bit in the opposite direction, but the goal is to not lean that much. You don't want to lean all the way over, then we're not working so much, but there will be a slight lean. We'll start in just the left leg in 3, 2, 1. This might be a short range of motion for you, okay? If all you could get out to is air, that's fine. Go to where the movement feels comfortable. No need to kick or sort of jerk this motion. Where can you get to with your own body controlling that motion? We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Good, guys. If you need the chair for a little balance in front of you on this one, that's fine. Keep it there. I'm going to move it out of the way so you can see me, but have that chair in front of you if it makes you feel comfortable to grab onto. We're going to do that dragon dance. Same thing, starting tight, get crazy, get fun with it. But if you're able to get down into a little bit of a squat with it and then incorporate the legs, that's the way to sort of make this a little bit more intense, more full body. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so get the shoulders feeling good first. Chest feels good. Get it high. But then we could come down into a lower crouch and get the legs involved with it. So turn it into a rhythm, turn it into a dance. Get weird with it, get funky. That's fine. Feel your bodies. One thing Carl and I have been encouraging each other to be more comfortable with recently is dancing in our workouts. In between sets, throwing in some dance moves to add variability. We'll pause on that. Good work. We got calves next. So use that chair. We're just going to come up onto our toes. If you want it to be a little bit tougher, and you could have a slight crouch and do the calf raise from the slight crouch, that's a tougher version of this exercise. But if you're ready for it, want to give it a try, that's fine. If not, just standing upright, and we'll just do calf raises for 40 seconds in 3, 2, 1. So that's the main one, just coming up onto our toes. But if you want to break your knees a little bit into a little bit of a squat and then do the calf raise from there, that's a little bit more challenging. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. We're going to work on balance. We'll start with left leg first. If you need to hold on to the chair, do that. If you can pull away from it and work on that sort of self-sufficiency, that's the goal for this movement. Let's start where you can. We'll get our left leg up in the air as high as we could get it. If it's only part way out, that's fine. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Left leg up in the air. Trying to have our hands away from the chair if we can. Trying to get to 90-90 if we're able. But if it's only down here or wherever, that's fine. Balance is tough for all of us, for so many people. We're not on one limb much. Practicing it here at the end of our workout when we're warm will teach us to be better with that as we move forward. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. A little bit of a rest, guys, but we're going to keep this one a little shorter so we got plenty of time for that meditation experience. And we're going to do one more set of that. I need to catch my breath. We'll take the time to rest, as I said at the start. We'll take that time. And then in a few seconds, we'll be jumping into marches with punches. And let's get right into that in 3, 2, 1. Get a good rhythm going. Feel the body working as one unit. Feel the way your right arm relates to your left leg. Feel the way your left arm relates to your right leg. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Good, guys. So we're going to get our right adduction of the hip, leg raise, side leg raise with our right leg. Again, this is an easy movement where the temptation might be to squeeze too much, to think, oh, I could get my leg all the way out here. It's actually tough, especially because of the way, as I say before, we sit so often as Americans in chairs. This will be fairly tight. So get to where you can. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Stick with it, guys. A few more reps. Excellent. Take a pause there. I was just noticing, just to let you know how my brain works in a workout. Ooh, that was tough for me to stay up on that left leg for that long. Different than my right leg. Something sort of out of balance there. Something I make note of, and I will return as I work out throughout the week to finding a deeper sense of balance. Our next move is that dragon dance. Last set, guys. Let's go for gold on this. Have some fun with it. I know I've been enjoying this. I get a sense across the Zoom divide that you are as well. So let's get into it. Just crouch if you can, but if your feet are together, that's fine. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you're feeling warm and you can get the legs into this, get low. Try to get into a lower squat. Feel how the different parts of the squat feel. Be a little bit more on your toes. Be a little bit more on your heels. This is a way to explore what your body feels like, however that is for you today. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. I really love that, guys. We got 2 more exercises here. We'll do some calf raises in a few seconds. Again, if you could get into a little bit of a squat and get there, that's gonna add a little of a different twist on this exercise. But if you're just standing up straight behind your chair, good balance, that's a perfect way to start today. We'll do our calf raises in 3, 2, 1. I've said this the last few times, I think, but I was reading about how the calf is sometimes referred to, the calf muscles down bottom there, as sort of a second heart. As your heart drives the blood down through your body, those calf muscles, the ankle muscles, are part of what helps squeeze it back up through your body, so to speak. I'm not a doctor, can't speak to all the exact ins and outs, but in a book of exercise science I was reading, calves have something of a correlation to good heart health. So we'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. And the last move will be our second set of balance with the right leg up, grabbing a hold as we need it, but trying to gain some self-sufficiency. We'll be honest with our 20 seconds. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Right leg up in the air, however you could get it. Holding. And again, sort of a deeper way to experience this. If you're up here, if this is feeling pretty strong, I do this most of my workouts, and you're able to just be relaxed in this movement, to breathe steadily, and even sort of compose your thoughts, as I sometimes do when I'm in the middle of an exercise, that means you have a real deep control over that exercise. We'll pause and finish our second set of standing tabata in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. And that's going to bring us to our meditation. And this is something like one we've done before, actually a few months ago, and I might have done one of these in the fall. I don't particularly remember, but it's going to be just sort of a review of our day so far is the basic idea. I take inspiration on this from a lot of people. It always stuck in my head when I was in high school. We read Benjamin Franklin's daily schedule. It was in one of his books or something. And he had something like an hour at the start of the day where he just thought about the question, what good am I going to do today? Or what am I going to accomplish today? At the end of the day, he had an hour scheduled to review, what did I accomplish today? What good did I do today? Benjamin Franklin was very productivity minded, but I learned to deepen that sort of an experience when I was a novice in a religious order for a year. We would practice what we called an examine. Twice a day for 15 minutes, I would look and ask myself, what's happened so far? How did I get to where I am? Particularly in terms of my feelings. Oh, it's midday, I'm doing a little check-in. I'm just sort of frustrated with things today. Why am I frustrated? And then you go through the review. So that's what we'll practice here today. We'll do a little breathing meditation to get ourselves relaxed. And then I have a simple structure to share with you that I still practice myself. Highs, lows, and hopes. What were the highs of your last 24 hours? Or if you do it twice a day, last 12 hours? What were the things that made you feel most fully yourself, most loving, generous, compassionate? Whatever that deep self is that you value, the best version of yourself as you have come to know it. What brought you to that sort of a space? Lows. Where did you fall into the kind of person you might not want to be? And that's fine. We get frustrated, jealous, short. I snap at people. What brought you to that? What sort of spirits and movements and energies brought you to that space? And then hopes, with all of that in mind, how do you hope to be tomorrow? What do you want your day to look like? What feelings and energies and spirits do you want to be drawn into? A spirit of generosity, of compassion, of patience, of peace, or a spirit of jealousy and frustration and anger and unkindness? Whatever those categories are for you, I'll leave them to you. But as my friend Thomas Merton said, the Catholic monk, take the time to look at it. So we got about 10 minutes left together. Let's start off with a little breathing meditation. Feet flat on the floor, hands resting in our lap. They could be sort of gently crossed, but we don't want limbs crossing. We want blood to be flowing around the body nice and gently. So we'll start by just becoming aware of your breathing. Take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your stomach to expand on the in-breath. Holding that breath for a moment. And then breathing calmly out of your mouth. Breathing in peace and calm and relaxation. Breathing out fear, worry, and anxiety. I'd like you to draw your awareness to your hands for a moment and clench a fist, not too strong, but just enough to know that there's some tension holding there. And as you take a deep breath in through your nose, I want you to squeeze those fists. Hold the tension and the breath for a moment. And then with a calm, gentle exhale, release the tension in your fists. And if you're comfortable, you could even open your palms to a place of receptivity and openness. And now if you're sticking with me and you want to try a daily review as a way of practicing meditation or contemplation, follow me along for a few minutes in how I invite you to look at your day. But of course, if you want to just practice breathing meditation, you're more than welcome to do that. But we'll take in mind more or less our last day. Maybe it's just Tuesday as a whole, if this was the first thing you did today, or if you were up early and want to include this morning in it, that's fine. But thinking about the last day or so, I want you to think about whatever the highs were, and whatever comes to mind is fine. It doesn't need to be exhaustive. Where were the places and times you felt most yourself? Whatever that true spirit is at the center of your being. For me, it's the person of generosity and compassion and kindness and patience. When were you that yesterday? And then think about what brought you to that space. And whatever comes to mind is right for you, and I'll leave you for a few moments to reflect on that. And whatever particular instances come to mind as places where you were most yourself, dwell on those for a second. Savor them. How were you feeling at that time? What was it like to feel peaceful or patient or generous or kind? How was that for you? And then we transition into the second step, which is lows. We want to hold off on any self-judgment here. This isn't a chance to rake ourselves over the coals or anything. But throughout our day, at least mine, I do find that I fall into envy and jealousy and a lack of patience, meanness. And paying attention to what brought me to those moments is a good way to be able to resist them in the future. So looking at your day, whatever that means for you, where are the places you are not most yourself? And then as you're ready, we can consider the third step. How do you hope to be tomorrow with all that in mind? What brought you to a place of your true self, your high? What brought you to a place of the false self, where your low was? And try to maybe draw one specific intention, one plan, one hope for how you could experience the rest of your day today or tomorrow. And when you're ready, you could gently begin to return to awareness in this room. And you could wiggle your fingers and your toes and give yourself a moment to transition out of the meditation. Thanking yourself for giving yourself the time to treat your own life with some generosity, to treat your own life with some compassion. Just as a little personal example of how this worked for me in this time, yesterday I was working in my backyard on a little, it's going to be an exercise and a contemplation space for me. It's basically a sand pit where I'm going to exercise over the summer and do some meditation activities. And I just completed it yesterday and I was so excited. And I've been living at home in the pandemic, and my mom and brother came out and were so excited to see the completion. And I was just so joyful. I had a fun workout in it. And then they started offering ideas. And they said, oh, we could do this with that, or we could do this with that. And those weren't my ideas. And so in the span of a few moments, an hour or so, I went from, oh, I'm so excited by this thing. This is what I've been looking forward to. This is what I've been working on, to, no, but that's not the way I want it. That shift from generosity, from excitement, from passion to judgment and shortness and snapping. It was an hour we healed it, we patched it up, wasn't a big fight or anything, but I just saw that my spirit went through some ups and downs. And paying attention to that is how you grow in compassion, grow in wisdom, grow in kindness. And so my advice for you is to take the time to do something like this. Could be in the morning, could be at night, middle of the day, whatever. Take the time to look at your day with love and compassion and see what happened. It tends to fly by and moves past my own sort of mind in the flick of an instant, so to speak. So take the time to look at your day. And I hope you all have a wonderful and joy-filled day.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.